Doug Collins in Phoenix.
Mark, thank you. A collision of two Western Conference heavyweights, San Antonio and Phoenix. And this shot by Duncan. The Spurs have jumped off to a 9-2 lead, hitting 4 of their first 8 shots. The Phoenix Suns have started 1 of 7 from the floor. As you take a look at Nash, and then Diaw left open as Nash brought everybody down low, and Bowen gets the San Antonio rebound with Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan.
Well, the Spurs are going to look to run, Kevin, anytime there's a miss. They want to get the ball up the floor, maybe get something early, and if they don't, they want to play through Duncan to try to keep the tempo of this game in their favor. The Suns are going to have to do a good job mixing up their double teams.
Both teams are coming off the loss, and Alberto screen and a 3-ball by Berry, and a great rebound, and down it goes. On the move by Berry, which they would like to see him do more of, taking it inside.
Well, that's he's in the starting lineup now instead of Ginobili, and he's playing very, very well with Parker and Duncan. They bring Ginobili in. They're trying to create a bench here, give him some energy coming in off that bench.
Offensive rebound by Stoudemire, and a foul called on Tim Duncan. That's a concern, of course, if you're San Antonio, because Ginobili gives you incredible energy to start the game.
Yeah, he does. And you see the offensive rebound, and this is one of the areas the Suns are going to have to do a good job in, is defensive rebounding the ball, Kevin, to trigger that running game. Manu Ginobili coming in here now at the 6-minute mark, so he's going to be able to inject that energy that he brings. But Greg Popovich has done this now for the last 4 years. Anytime he thinks his team needs a lift, he goes to Manu Ginobili. Ginobili already knows before he even tells him that he's going to be coming off the bench. He adapts to it well. And he brings them something special, hoping then to maybe help Finley, Ori, some of the other guys coming off the bench be more effective as well.
So Berry is out, Ginobili is in. The Phoenix Suns come into tonight number 2 in the Western Conference at 36-9, a home winning streak of 9 consecutive games. They've also won 18 of 19 here. Doug, they're coming off a loss Monday in Minnesota. Before that, they had rattled off 17 consecutive wins.
And sometimes the toughest game to play is that first game back. We see that sometimes when teams are gone. The Suns have started this game a little bit low energy. Barbosa's in the game trying to give them some speed. And San Antonio's coming off a tough game last night in Utah, and they're the more energetic team to start this game.
Barbosa's taken the place of Diaw, so they've gone small on the Phoenix side. Here comes Tim Duncan across the lane. Rejected by Shawn Marion, picked up by Nash. Ahead to Barbosa, over Parker. Rebound by Bruce Bowen of the Spurs, and Parker the other way for San Antonio. The Spurs are 3rd right now in the Western Conference. They have a road record of 16-7, one of the few teams in the NBA with the winning road record. And they are coming off a loss last night in Utah. Duncan inside over Stoudemire. It was hit by Alberto, and Parker with it.
We see the Suns have gone to a smaller lineup now. They've got Stoudemire playing at the center, Shawn Marion at the 4 spot, coming in with energy and speed. Mike D'Antoni is trying to get his team involved in this game.
It's Ginobili for 3. And the San Antonio Spurs, 7 minutes into the ball game, have a 14-3 lead. Their biggest tonight. Suns have missed their last 5 and have started 1 of 11 overall. Ginobili watching Nash, who takes it into the teeth of that San Antonio defense, and a foul called on the Spurs. It was inside, it was on Ginobili. 4:44 in the first quarter. You're watching the national game on TNT. The Suns and the Spurs. Well, the San Antonio Spurs have outscored the Suns 6-0 in the paint. They've got a couple of threes to boot and some keys, Doug, tonight for this game.
Well, you know, when you look at the San Antonio Spurs, when their guards get in the paint, they either score or they kick out for 3. So we want to watch that. Tony Parker leads guards in the NBA, 466 paint points, and they want to defend the 3, and they want to do a great job on Shawn Marion. If they feel like they can take Shawn Marion out of the game and defend the 3, the Spurs think they have a great chance to win the game. And for the Suns, a balanced offense. They want to mix in the points and the paints, the 3s, get to the free throw line, and then beat the best of the West. They're 0-6 for Utah versus Utah, Dallas, San Antonio, and they know, and Utah. And all that they've heard over this last 2-3 weeks is, yeah, the streak is great, but you're 20-1 against the East. You've beaten up on the East. You're 16-8 against the West, and you haven't beaten any of the top 4 teams. So the Suns are looking at this game and then the game Saturday night against Utah as a way to show how much they've improved, because a lot of those losses were early in the season when they were not playing the kind of basketball they're playing right now.
It's kind of struck a nerve here in Phoenix.
Absolutely, very sensitive point. Absolutely, you know, they feel like that they played great basketball. Here is Duncan, and you know, Mike D'Antoni told me before the game, he said, we can only play who's on the schedule. And a lot of those losses here, again, were early in the season when Amari Stoudemire was trying to get back in the swing of things. But this is what they are, Dallas, Utah, Lakers, and San Antonio. They lost to San Antonio early when Raja Bell missed a free throw with about 1.5 seconds to go. Could have won that game. They blew a 19-point lead to Lakers on opening night. Blew 2 big leads to the Utah Jazz. So the Suns feel like they have something here to prove tonight. To show that this is no fluke, how well they playing, and this streak is there for real.
Amari Stoudemire picked up his first personal foul. You see last year's Coach of the Year in so many polls. It was Mike D'Antoni. Robert Horry has checked in for Alberto for San Antonio. James Jones has come in for Raja Bell for Phoenix. Mike D'Antoni, by the way, will be coaching the Western Conference All-Stars in a couple of weeks here on TNT in Las Vegas.
And he has 3 of his players. He was very, very happy with that. Sean Marion, Stoudemire, Nash all going to go. And he said, Doug, you know what it just does? It just, you know, verifies and validates the fact that we see Marion in the lane. But our guys share the ball we play. Very, very unselfish basketball. Nobody worries who gets the honors. And 3 of our guys are going for San Antonio. It's going to be Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. Great honor for 5 of the players here playing tonight and one of the coaches.
He told us getting rewarded for playing as a team.
Exactly.
That's what they stress. A nice move inside for Tim Duncan. More points in the paint for the San Antonio Spurs. And Duncan has gone 3 of 6 from the field. He's got a game-high 8 points right now for San Antonio.
That's a great matchup here, Nash and Parker. You know, Nash is going to get the switch here. Look at this high arcing shot. He takes over the top of Robert Horry. Robert Horry is the central figure for this Spurs team. If they're going to do well in the playoffs, they have to keep him fresh, because we know how big he comes up playoff time.
Parker got it from Duncan and takes it inside. That's a charge, and it's on Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs. That's the first on him.
Well, that doesn't happen by accident.
No.
The Phoenix Suns lead the NBA in taking charges. So they don't have a great shot blocking team, 15th in the league in shot blocking, but the best in the league in taking charges. And there's Steve Nash, the 2-time MVP, stepping in and taking the foul on Tony Parker.
Parker is out. Beno Udrih is in now for San Antonio. A 3-point shot hit by All-Star Sean Marion.
And you can already see Greg Popovich senses the Suns starting to get in sync. He's not going to let them go on those patented 16-2 runs. He's going to take a timeout. He has to manage this game, use his timeouts not only for strategy, but for rest and to break momentum. These are the top 3 seeds in the West. The Mavs, right now, the first seed. The Suns, second, Spurs, third. I look for scoring margin, first of all. The Suns are first in that, the Spurs second, and the Mavs third. Then I look for road records, because obviously in the playoffs you've got to win on the road. Look at these road records, the 3 best in the NBA. And then star power, the guy you can go on the road with, the guy that can win big games for you. How about Dirk, Nash, and Duncan? So you look at these 3 teams, and that's why they're all poised to do well come playoff time.
Tim Duncan has scored 8 early points, grabbed 5 rebounds. This is a 3 by Ginobili. It's picked up by Steve Nash, and it goes ahead. Intended for Marion, broken up by Udrih. That is the 3rd turnover for the Phoenix Suns. And Udrih, who's been in a season-long slump, fanning on a 3 right there.
Yeah, they really need Udrih to start playing better. When he comes in for Tony Parker, they need him to be able to play that backup point guard position.
And look at Barbosa take it inside with the offensive rebound by Amari Stoudemire.
The Suns are the worst offensive rebounding team in the league, but when you get great penetration, you have shot blockers like that, somebody can go to the boards, and that time it was Amari Stoudemire, and he cleans up and gets the easy 2.
Spurs have led by 11. Phoenix has never led in the game. And it's Stoudemire working on Tim Duncan to get across the lane. Tapped by Robert Horry.
Well, the second chance opportunity. The Spurs already have 5 points off second chance opportunities. How about last night? They were outscored 29-11 on second chance by the Utah Jazz.
And Ginobili right by Stoudemire. On the other way, here's Barbosa leaking early and Nash caught him with a clean assist by Steve Nash.
Every time we do a Suns game, I tell you, when you're playing against Barbosa, you have got to run back with him. I know that's a tall order because he is so fast. You have got to take away those leak-out layups, so he gets 3 or 4 of those every game. It makes his jump shot that much more lethal.
He's averaging a career high 16 points as Barbosa a game. Ginobili hits Bowen with the defending Shawn Marion, who just picks up a Phoenix foul right there. And that is the first on Shawn Marion. And we've got 1:29 to play here in the first quarter. And the third member of our crew, welcome in David Aldridge.
Well, guys, you mentioned Steve Nash and his importance to this team. Teammates have noticed this year that Steve Nash is a little nastier than normal. Not quite the good guy he's always been. We know he's a great guy, but he's also very determined this year. Steve told me that, look, he knows that he's played basketball in the playoffs for 7 years, and he's not going to play forever. And if they're going to win, they got to do it soon. And he's not trying to be mean to his teammates. He's trying to let them know that he believes in them, and he wants them and himself to be the best they can be. So, Doug, he's pushing them as hard as he can this year.
Great leadership, David. When your players do that, it takes so much pressure off the coach to have to be the one to do it, pushing those buttons all the time. And I think that's wonderful when you have that kind of leader.
Here's Marion inside on Ori, rebounded by Tim Duncan. Nash is the current player of the week in the Western Conference. Barbosa watches Ginobili with a screen by Ori. Michael Finley has come in for the first time and finds Duncan inside deep.
Well, if he catches that deep, he's going to throw up a 35-point night. So the Suns have to do a much better job of denying those entry passes, front the post, and make him work harder to catch the ball.
Final half minute, the San Antonio Spurs have a foul to give over Duncan. This is Amari Stoudemire. So the two big centers are flexing early. 5 points and 6 rebounds by Stoudemire. 10 points and 6 rebounds for Tim Duncan.
Well, remember, the Spurs game plan again, on any made field goal, they're going to come down and set up the offense. This is where they're going to try to slow the game down. When the Suns miss, they're going to look to run and get easy scores.
There's a difference of 5 seconds, game clock and shot clock in Duncan. With the shot clock at 2 and Utrecht over Stoudemire. Marion the rebound. They've got time to fire, and Stoudemire will take it. Well, an exciting first quarter that saw Tim Duncan put in 10 points, grab 6 rebounds, and build his team's lead as high as 11. They only shoot 43%, but they're on the road in a tough place to play. The Suns only shoot 30% in that first quarter. At the end of one, San Antonio 22-16 on TNT.
The entertainment capital of the world has landed its biggest act yet. The 2007 NBA All-Star Game is coming to Las Vegas. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Shaquille O'Neal, and the rest of the NBA's top performers headline the show of a lifetime. It's East versus West. Never before has the game been quite like this. Don't miss the 2007 NBA All-Star Game. Live from Las Vegas, Sunday, February 18th at 8, only on TNT.